Deep in the Florida Everglades, where the land turns to water and the silence hides predators, rises the most controversial immigration facility in the United States. They call it Alligator Alcatraz. Built on a defunct Cold War airstrip and surrounded by miles of swamp crawling with alligators, crocodiles, and snakes, the compound will house up to 1,000 migrants in tents under scorching skies. The Trump administration says it's a necessary tool. On the contrary, critics say it's a dystopian show of force. President Donald Trump is personally attending the opening of the detention center, a dramatic stop on his 2025 immigration crackdown tour. With him, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, who fast-tracked the build in under 30 days. The message: deterrence with teeth.
The facility is in the heart of the Everglades and will be informally known as Alligator Alcatraz. There is only one road leading in, and the only way out is a one-way flight. It is isolated and surrounded by dangerous wildlife and unforgiving terrain. The facility will have up to 5,000 beds to house, process, and deport criminal illegal aliens. This is an efficient and low-cost way to help carry out the largest mass deportation campaign in American history.
Since Trump returned to the White House, detention numbers have soared, and ICE needed space, fast. Using $450 million redirected from migrant aid programs, the Department of Homeland Security greenlit what it calls a temporary high-security facility. Its biggest security feature: the swamp itself. No fences, no walls, just nature's prison. Officials claim the Everglades' treacherous terrain, from cypress marshes to man-eating reptiles, makes escape nearly impossible. But to many, that's not security, that's spectacle. The name, Alligator Alcatraz, evokes one of the darkest symbols of American incarceration. The original Alcatraz, where prisoners were locked in solitary, often without sunlight or human contact. Back then, it was for the nation's most violent criminals. Today, many in Florida's swamp camp haven't been convicted of any crime, just detained under immigration orders.
I ask you to not buy into what they are.
Now, protests are mounting. Native American tribes say the site lies atop sacred land. Environmental groups warn of irreversible damage to endangered species. Lawsuits have already been filed, but construction rolls on, quietly under emergency executive powers granted to Governor Ron DeSantis in 2023.
The Everglades in itself is just a very sacred area, and the habitat here needs to be preserved and taken care of. And then we have the natives here that are on this land that protect this land and take care of this land. So there's that factor in itself. And then obviously what they're trying to do here with Alligator Alcatraz is horrendous and just really not acceptable. I'm hoping that today we can follow the natives' lead and try and bless the land and protect the land and do what we can, and then thereby protect the people, because first of all, no human is illegal.
To the Trump administration, Alligator Alcatraz is a symbol of strength, a warning to future migrants that America's doors are no longer open.
You have illegal murderers and rapists and heinous criminals in a detention facility surrounded by alligators. Yes, I do think that's a deterrent for them to try to escape. We do know that some of these illegal criminals have escaped from other detention facilities, like one in New Jersey, which I know was recently reported on. So, of course, we want to keep the American people safe, and we want to remove these public safety threats from our streets, and we want to effectively detain them as best as we can.
To others, it's a brutal echo of a past America promised to leave behind. Out here, where the land swallows the light, the question isn't who escapes, but what survives. In the Everglades, the border debate turns to concrete, canvas, and crocodiles.